Good evening. Welcome. This is Brian Johnson, and this light is bright. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So, tonight we're going to talk about the 4 habits, specifically habits to help you be successful in your nutrition. Because a lot of people think that it is actually just nutrition that actually helps you to be successful, and I am going to share with you tonight some habits that are absolutely necessary for you to thrive, without a doubt. So if this is your first time, just type first timer in the message box below so we can make sure you're taken care of, make sure you're loved on. I'm sure, what's up, Miss Serena? I'm sure that Audrey will probably be on here. Miss Tiffany, possibly. Jocelyn, my assistant, will be on here. Danny can also help out. So if you're on here and you have any questions, what's up, Jen Johnston? Good to see you today. Great to meet you. Miss Newbie. What's up, Joyce? Hey, Miss Cynthia. Good chat today. So, what's up, Steve-O? Stephen B. Jammin'. So, all right. So, there's lots of veterans on. There will more than likely be a few first-timers as well. So, if you are a first-timer, just make sure you type first-timer in the message box. That way we can make sure you're taken care of. And with your permission, I'm going to share with you some of the best tools that I have found to help you be successful. And I'm not saying this because I'm saying this from the matter of experience. I've been in the trenches, meaning I've been 250 pounds 3 different times. I've been suicidal. I've had crazy experiences that I've been blessed to be drugged through by my own choices and gained some very valuable wisdom and knowledge off of that. And with your permission, I'm inviting you for you to give me 1% of your trust, and undoubtedly, I will earn the other 99. So with your permission, I'm going to be Brian. My encouragement is for you to be you, and because the world needs you, not being someone else. So be yourself. So here you go. So the 4 things we're going to talk about tonight. Twice in one day. It's a great day, isn't it, Joyce? Hey, Robin. Haha. Yeah, I wasn't there the last 2 days. Chris has been. Chris is going to skiing tomorrow, so he asked me to teach today and tomorrow. So I'm here. And honestly, I love you, ladies and gents, so much. I really appreciate the time and opportunity to be able to serve you and be able to bless you. What's up, Miss Jenny Powell? And really share great stuff with you that I found to be super helpful. And I'm grateful that we get to do it on this type of a vehicle at least. And for those of you that are interested, we are currently putting together the logistics on a live event here in Austin, Texas. So if you would like more information on that, let Audrey, Danny, Jocelyn know. And we'll get you some more information. We're putting together all of it right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and have some fun, most importantly. So habit number 1, I'm going to tell you the 4 habits that I'm talking about today so you can understand where we're at. And I'll probably go longer than 30 minutes because I'm already can tell you I'm kind of jazzed up and ready to connect and share some wisdom with you. So habit number 1, ensuring your success is extremely important. And the way you're going to do that is by checking your body fat weekly. Every 7 days. For those of you that work with me on a one-on-one level, you know that every 7 days, this is what we check. Hey, Tara, this is what we check because I am more interested. Matter of fact, I'm only interested in data to make decisions off of when it comes to doing nutrition programs. Matter of fact, when it comes time to doing anything, if I can have empirical data, I totally, that's my route. I'm not interested in a theory. I'm not interested in an opinion because I've worked with well over 100,000 people at this point, and every single one of them has been different. Yes, there may have been similarities between some people, and they're still completely different. So when I say someone is literally a chemistry set for the first month or 2, this is a fact because it's impossible. Cancel. It's highly unlikely to be able to nail down your person's biodome within the first visit of getting data and creating lifestyle nutrition programs and things like that. So measuring your body fat is for sure extremely important to make sure that you're being successful consistently. Hey, thank you for sharing, Tara. And for those of you, my veterans, if you don't mind, please share. This way I can help more people because without you, I would not be able to reach them. And I'm super grateful for you for being able to help me do that because I would not be able to do it without you. So number 2, we're going to talk about. What's up, Miss June Pinckney? Number 2, tracking your food, accountability, and reviewing. We're going to talk about these specifically. We're going to talk about what you do when you track your food and why you would track your food and why I had a lot of resistance around it, okay? So habit number 3, Starting somewhere. You would not believe, you probably would believe, the amount of people who never get started because they don't know where to start. Just start somewhere and measure your information, measure your data, measure your outcomes every week. And I'll talk to you about this and we'll go through it. And I'll even have Jocelyn share with you the exact scale that I have my clients get. It's about 120 bucks. This is what I have all my clients get. A lot of times it's tied in with their tuition. And basically what happens is you can hop on this thing every week and it gives you your body fat, your hydration, everything. And it gives you data to make decisions off of, not a theory or an opinion. Because I don't know about you, my mirror lies to me for sure. Now you can tell me, does your mirror lie to you? I know pictures don't lie to me for sure. So mirrors lie to me. I can lie to myself in a mirror. Can't lie to myself in a picture or something like that. All right, so if you're with me on that, and if your mirror is the same as mine, go ahead and comment a yes, and let's see where you're at. All right, so here you go. So habit number 3, starting somewhere and being open-minded to feedback, because here's what I've experienced. Feedback is really what I encourage you to subscribe to versus failure. Failure only happens when you quit. And if you can look at everything that happens in your life as feedback, whether it's feedback I like or whether it's feedback I don't like, this is super important. Because when you can look at that and understand that we're all on our journey, and when you can really just take that and you can say, all right, well, I didn't get the ideal results I would have liked to this week. What's my feedback? Well, my feedback is my body fat went down. That's great. My weight went up. For those of you who are hooked on the scale number, that's actually not a bad thing. Because if your body fat goes down, your weight goes up, that means that you're putting on muscle tissue, and the next thing you get to do is just splice your calories and cut them just a little bit to take yourself out of that surplus. What's up, CV? The key is a lot of things with nutrition. There's so many different things out there. The wisdom and the science part comes in when understanding when to insert a tool or a tactic. That's the difference between a professional and someone who doesn't understand what's going on. It's kind of like this. I got this story for you. I think you'll dig it. Let's see if I can get it right. So there was this guy who was working on this project at his house, and for the life of him, he couldn't get it to work. He was hammering these nails in, trying to get this picture to stick on the wall just right, and he couldn't get it. So finally, he gives us, says, you know what? I'm going to call a professional. So he calls a professional painter hanger, if you will. The painter guy comes over, looks at it, takes the same hammer and nail that the guy was using. He walks up there, looks at it, lines it up, puts a nail right in the right place, and it works immediately. And he goes, that's 200 bucks, sir. And the guy goes, oh, you must be kidding me. It took you 2 minutes to do that. And you're charging me 200 bucks. So he walks over there and pulls a nail out, and the picture falls down. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, you don't want to pay for it. He goes, it's not the amount of time that it took me to do that. It was a mere fact of me understanding the wisdom to be able to place that in the right place at the right time to create that outcome. That's the difference between a seasoned professional with someone who understands how to make adjustments and someone who's just kind of getting started, because there's a lot of variables that go on and every person is different. So when you can take a look and understand what the data says off of your machine, it allows you to make educated decisions. So we're going to talk about that. So those of you on here that are seasoned dieters, I am a seasoned dieter. I diet 95% of the year, 99.5% of the year, which means I'm measuring food and consistently conscious about something. Even when I'm eating pizza, I'm still conscious I'm still eating pizza. So it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to show you some tactics to really help you to get in great shape and to stay in great shape. My whole deal after Chris and I did that show, I was like, you know what? It's possible to get in that great a shape and consistently maintain it year-round. When you season yourself down and you create the habits and you walk yourself down into that type of shape, you can maintain it while you're having reward meals and while you're having life and experiencing and actually enjoying yourself. There is by no means that you should actually be deprived of having any food when you're on a quote-unquote diet, unless you're getting half naked on a stage. That is different. At that point in time, you do whatever is necessary so you don't feel like an idiot while you're up there, right? That was an interesting experience. We'll talk about that too. So habit number 4. This is a journey, not a destination. What do you mean by that, Brian? I mean that this is something you're going to do for a lifetime. So figure out things that work for you. Give yourself permission to be comfortable being uncomfortable, to try different things. Like this week, Penny and I, we're all switching over to vegan and vegetarian for a week. I'm pulling meats out of my diet again to see how I feel and make some adjustments up. I'm always trying different things to check it out and see what I feel. My encouragement to you is to do the same thing. Just have a base of where you can start from. All right, and we can talk about that. So now, if this is your first timer, if this is not, welcome aboard, my veterans. I appreciate you so much, and it's a huge honor for me that you show up consistently, open-minded, with making the decision to be your best self right now. And that, for me, is super empowering, and I'm honored to be able to share the things that God's had blessed me with to really help you on your journey. My whole deal is I really love to share information that creates a difference right now. And whatever you want to change tomorrow, that's going to happen right now. So being able to take the wisdom that I share with you and figure out, like, what will I implement today is the biggest thing you could possibly be asking yourself right now. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed between millionaires and billionaires and people who are struggling to make it financially is the speed of implementation. I've been sitting around millionaires, and I know one billionaire. I have multiple friends that are millionaires, and I sit with them and I watch them interact. And when we're at meetings and things like that, and when an idea, something comes across their plate, they immediately stop what they're doing. They make a call to their assistant. They put an email in. They do something. They take action immediately. And most of the time what happens is these guys have already got whatever it was that was talked about implemented before they even get home and are testing it to see how it works. While most people are still jotting down their notes and figuring, oh, where did I leave that page? Was it in my blue notebook or was it in my brown one? So my encouragement to you is to really collapse the time on how fast it takes for you to make decisions to empower yourself. Trust me and follow my advice. And when you do, almost magically, things will start to transform in your life, mainly because you said yes to you and you trusted me. All right, so let's do this. So for those of you who don't know, let's real quick, with your permission, I'm going to share with you a 1-minute story on myself so that you understand where I'm coming from and why am I listening to this guy. Well, my whole deal is I'm 39, currently 39 years young. I started doing health and wellness stuff when I was 7. So I literally started lifting weights with my dad when I was 7 years old in our garage. I got punched in the face multiple times, got picked on by older guys when I was smaller. So that's what got me actively into bodybuilding and getting bigger. I was aiming to be less of a target, which worked out. So at that point, I had a huge affinity for it. I would actually read. I remember reading bodybuilding magazines in intermediate school and looking at pictures in 5th grade. So it's always something that fascinated me. I also knew at a very early age that there was more in our food than just a protein, carbohydrate, or a fat. So that was my original dive into the whole world of holistic health and wellness. Then I had some family members come down with some different types of ailments, prostate cancers and things of that nature. I didn't know anything about it and I couldn't help them. And that sent me on another wild goose chase unknowingly to sink about 10, 12,000 hours into disease-specific nutrition reversal. So when I get onto something, I get onto something. Thank God I haven't had 2 things that I'm super geeked out about happen at the same time because I would have a hard time juggling which one I was going to do. Luckily, body language and nutrition came apart completely separate of about 4 years. So it allowed me to dive in wholeheartedly to both of those. So investing a huge chunk of time in nutrition, which is where a lot of you have been attracted to Chris and I about the information that we talk about. I love it for sure. And I can tell you that body language and emotional breakthrough and language code, to me, it makes nutrition look like tiddlywinks. Not to say, what's up, Meryl? Your sister's on here too. Not to say that it's not important. And if you don't understand what your body's telling you through these things and through scratches and pains and symptoms, you're totally missing the boat. You're missing 60% of the life force that is available to you by not understanding what these things mean. And naturally, you can see the value in understanding this for yourself and how it would create a massive impact in your life. Would you agree? Hey, Sir Tong. Naturally, I do too. And that's the reason why I kind of got into that stuff so much. So fast forward today, I've been blessed to have probably well over 100,000+ hours wrapped up in this stuff. And I don't say that as a point of pat on my back. I say that from the standpoint of if you're serious about your health and wellness, which if you're on my thread and you're on my videos, then you are definitely serious about your health and wellness. Now that you are serious about your health and wellness, my encouragement to you is to relax, sit down, pull up a pen and paper, open your mind, and just be present fully. Because there's not many things that I haven't been versed to be able to help and to shed some light on. So if you're willing to ride out the duration of the time of me coaching and chatting, you're going to get some value. My intention is to make sure you're consistently filled up with wisdom that creates a difference in your life immediately, so much so that you feel empowered and you feel it is your responsibility to share with others in your life because of the benefits that it's had in your life. So with that in mind, in that context, allow me to do what I do and I choose to make this funny. Did you hear that? Got tongue-tied. I choose to make this fun and easy. Sometimes you get tongue-tied. That's what happens. So allow me to share with you and to support you and serve you. So let's go ahead and get into this. First one. What's up, Zilla? All the way from Hawaii. Number 2 for you today. So habit number 1, ensuring your success by having a way to measure your body fat consistently. So let's talk about this. For those of you that have my notes, this is what I'm following off of. For those of you that don't have my notes, my encouragement to you is to hop up to step 1 in my outside my post and hop on our email list, so that way you actually can come along and get all of our notes and that kind of stuff. One of the most important things about measuring your body fat is it's crucial to longevity. I have a lot of people who just use the scale as their primary means of information, and my encouragement to you is to never do that again, because it doesn't give you accurate feedback on what your body's doing internally. It doesn't give you accurate feedback on whether you're putting on muscle tissue and dropping body fat. You could drop 5 pounds in a week, which is a lot, and lose 80% muscle tissue, which is not good at all. Okay, so 1 pound of muscle tissue will burn anywhere from 30 to 60 calories a day. That's a big deal. So as one of those goes away, that's 30 to 60 calories less that your body's not going to be able to burn. Does that make sense? If so, just type a yes. If you have any questions, feel free to put them on there. If I don't get to them while I'm talking, I will gladly go back to them. So weight is really only a part of the equation. Actually, it's a very small part of the equation. What I'm going to encourage you to start adopting is subscribe to this. Subscribe to getting your information from your body fat percentage. All right? A person who's 200 pounds at 20% body fat is much different from a person who's 200 pounds at 40% body fat. Big difference. Like, to kind of give you an idea, BMI does not work for me. I am obese according to BMI standards, and that drastically devalues my ability to get health insurances and things like that. What's up, Deborah? So it consistently creates a challenge. So I encourage you, don't do BMI, because BMI does not tell you anything of what's going on internally. And for those of you that just hopped on, if you don't mind, please sharing. I'm super grateful for you. Okay, so number 3, understanding the data. Understanding what the data means, meaning what your body fat say, what your weight say, what's your body fat percentage, and what is your hydration levels. Understanding this information is super important. What's up, Ramuni? Understanding this is super important, all right? And if you're really looking to get crash course is such a horrible word. If you're really looking to get a thriving course on what to do and how to do this stuff, if you're really serious about it, taking a look at my 6-week challenge may be a great opportunity for you, because this is where I literally do all of this for you in a very intimate setting where I handle all your nutrition. I basically solve your problems for you for 6 weeks. A lot of times once we get all your nutrition done, the next thing that comes up is weekly adjustments, weekly tweaks, daily accountability, but also too, this is when you start to get into the sabotage and you start to get into the emotional components. If that's something that interests you and you would like to see if you are a good fit, go to step 3 above when we get done, and you can hop in there and try it out. All right. So what's the best way to measure body fat? It is, somebody on here, I have sent you the link before to my body fat measuring device. If you have it, post it, please. If not, I will send you what we use, Joyce. So the next thing is understanding what foods. It's going to be about, that's a great question. So, Robin says, does your Tanita accurately reflect your body fat measurements? Within 2 to 5%. Here's the thing. If you're using a machine like a Tanita machine, which means that it measures your body fat through electrolysis, Here's the deal. If you do that in the morning, you're going to be unhappy. Because what happens is when you do that in the morning, your body is completely dehydrated, sometimes 2 liters dehydrated. What does that mean? What that means is your muscles are predominantly water. So when you're dehydrated, your muscle tissue goes down and your body fat goes up because you're roughly about, you're going to be a little bit lighter. So what happens is you're going to get skewed data on top of emotional doo-doo on yourself. And you're not going to be happy about it. I prefer checking mine at 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. That way I've had a full round of food and I've also had a full round of water in me. By that time I've typically sweated a lot too if I've done boxing or something like that. So in my opinion, I like doing it at night. I have mine set up for 8:30 p.m. Central Time on my Sunday night is when I check my body fat. My encouragement to you is when you get a device, just put a reminder in your phone and check it every week. The next part is this. Jocelyn, I have that somewhere. Do you have it? Jocelyn, my assistant's on here too, and Audrey can help you up here on my personal page. And actually, my personal page is down here, and my fan page is up there. Audrey's on my fan page. She can help you out. So, all right. Here's what I was going to tell you. The next thing is this. Is like once you start to check your body fat, the next wisdom that you get to have is you have to understand what foods are going to help you produce the results that you're looking for. For example, if you're trying to drop body fat, and you're eating fruits, you're probably not going to. Not saying they're bad for you. All foods are good for you, depending upon who you are and what's going on. What I am suggesting to you is this. Unless you control your insulin levels, which means, what's up, Richie? DEXA works great too if you got one of those. It's about $80 a pop, I think. So it may not be reasonable for something you to do every week. If you're looking to get really accurate stuff, Richie, is it Haynes, I believe, says the DEXA scan, which is true. It's a scanner that runs through and checks all your bone mass, bone density, and all that stuff. So it's definitely a good place to check out. It's definitely good to have it on your hand if you want to check it every once in a while so you can get bone density and stuff like that, ladies. So back to this. If you're talking about DexaFit, I haven't heard of that. You may want to check out DexaFit. Richie posted it down here. So talking about dropping body fat, one of the things you got to be super careful of and super aware of. I'm going to say careful, I don't like the word. Super aware of, because unless you're aware of it, you can't change it. Okay, if your ideal goal is to drop body fat, that means you must keep your insulin levels floored to the ground, meaning super low. Understand, when we eat a sugar, automatically we have an insulin spike. A lot of foods produce varying amounts of insulin. The key is being able to keep that low. So a lot of times you've heard me talk about Swiss chard. Swiss chard has got some stuff called syringic acid in it. The red vegetable, the green leafy vegetable with the red and the yellow veins in it. Syringic acid is the stuff that actually helps balance out your blood sugar. Same stuff called curcumin in actual cucumbers. It's an alpha glucose inhibitor, which means that if you've actually got cancerous cells, which is super important because it cuts off the sugar supply to cancer cells. But the curcumin specifically actually shuts down and slows down your insulin regulatory ability. So if you get a blood sugar spike, eating cucumber will help to balance that out. Same way with cinnamon. Some stuff called hydroxychalcone, I believe is how you pronounce it. All three of those have insulin fighting properties, which means that they actually help to lower your insulin levels. Understanding this information is what's going to keep you out of the doctor's office. It's what kept me well for 27 years. There's the machine, Danny. Thank you. Danny just posted it on there. It's kept me out of the doctor for being ill, at least. I go to the hormone doctor and a naturopathic doctor from time to time to check my stuff out and just get myself tweaked out a little bit more. But the key is like when you understand this information and you understand why kiwis reverse asthma or why you can eat the avocado seed to reverse heart disease if you're having blood pressure or cholesterol issues or plaque buildup or arteriosclerosis. Certain foods like artery scrubbing foods, specifically you can do the okra and you can also do the eggplant. Both of those are great for lowering cholesterol because it clears out the plaque in your arteries. Like, how important would it be for you to understand this stuff and to be able to know what you're doing from the grocery store? Most medications that are created come from some type of food where they've isolated one phytonutrient to take that. For example, have you ever heard of DIM? D-I-M. If you've heard of DIM, type a yes in the little box. Hey, Rich, I appreciate your feedback, my brother. Welcome aboard. So DIM, D-I-M, it's actually in cruciferous vegetables. And it is it's an I3C, which is an indole-3 carbonyl. Indole-3 carbonyl shifts into DIM. Now, DIM is super important for all of us. Guys who potentially have gynecomastia or man boobs, this is super helpful because it's an estrogen metabolizer. Ladies who have breast cancer, cervical, uterine, ovary, any of those things specifically, DIM is super important for you because what happens is all of those are higher estrogen-based problems. Lupus, same way. The most potent I3C or indole-3 carbonyl food that you can eat is Brussels sprouts. So ladies who have a family lineage of moms and dads, dads too on some occasions, moms actually having breast cancer or cervical cancer or any type of female-based situation, eating I3C foods or indole-3 carbonyl foods that create DIM is super important. What I was saying that for was because the medical industry will take the DIM from the vegetables and isolate it in a pill format. Rather than saying, hey, go get some broccoli and some Brussels sprouts, and on top of having DIM, you're going to have thousands of other cofactors, specifically like the stuff called glucoraphan in your broccoli stems. That's the most important part that you actually could eat in the broccoli. So how important would it be for you to actually understand these things so that when you go to the grocery store, you can pass this wisdom to yourself first. Most importantly, you can start sharing it with the people in your life. What's up, Terry? I can tell you alone, I used to hate vegetables. So much so until I learned about all of them, and then I actually love them. Like I just had a vegetable smoothie. Penny made it for me. Swiss chard, cucumber, celery, some baby spinach and some baby kale. And honestly, I didn't even put a lime in it. And I sucked it down so much. I was grateful for it because when you start talking vegetables, a lot of our high-level thinkers like Einstein, Nikola Tesla, and people like that were vegetarians. And I assure you, try this out and test me on this. Test everything I say. Don't trust anything I say. Just test it and do your own research, right? Now, what happens is, brain fart. Dun, dun, dun. Yes. Vegetables. Switch over to vegetables and pull some of your meats out and tell me if you don't notice a difference in how you feel, in how your body feels neurologically, meaning your speed, your quickness, your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts, quality of your sleep. It will impact all of this. So here's my challenge to you. I'm going to go straight vegan and vegetarian, about 80%, 80% out of 100 this week. If you would like to join me, just type a yes. And we can actually do a whole talk and conversation around that. I kind of go back and forth, especially when it's cold outside. I'll literally crave more meats because they keep you warmer. For those of you that just hopped aboard, welcome, Jessica. Welcome aboard. We appreciate you. We love you. If this is your first time, just type first timer. And for those of you that are really serious and you haven't gotten involved in any of our series, you have an opportunity tonight to get involved in our nutrition series for literally $77. It's from $4.97 is what it retails at. I dropped it down to $77 tonight to offer those people who have not had an opportunity to join us and come aboard. Here's what's in it for you. Tesla, that's right. Here's what's in it for you. There's 6 modules of nutritional information. What's up, Maria? Welcome aboard, young lady. You're welcome. We appreciate you. There's 6 modules digital, which means we go through there and talk about everything from different dietary theories, from different types of water, from different types of air, breathing, what foods actually produce certain things in your body. We go through all of this stuff, all of your grocery store foods. We tell you exactly what's in them with the medicines and how you can apply them. And this information is packed. It's 6 hours of information for sure. You literally can get it for only $77 tonight. That's $427 off, like 86%. Here's some bonuses for you because I have some other things for you that will be super helpful for you. Number 1, you're actually going to get the audio version in conjunction with the digital version so you can listen to it while you're driving down the road, while you're doing your work, whatever you do. It gives you another way to start downloading the information. Number 2, you're going to get added to our closed Facebook group. A lot of the people that are on here are already family members, which means we have a closed group called Think Great Nutrition, where I do trainings. Chris and I both do trainings specifically around answering questions specifically about certain topics that our members request, whether it's nutrition questions, whether it's doing diet questions. Nothing is off limits. There's also personal documents of tracking sheets and things that I use for my one-on-one clients that are in the group so that you can use them yourself. There's a lot of value. That's easily $1,000 value on it you're getting for free, and it's for a lifetime. You're not ever kicked out of there. All right. Next thing, number 3, you and I actually get to have a one-on-one conversation so I can see exactly what's going on in your world, and I can tell you what you get to do and how to go about doing it. So I can give you some support, and I can figure out what your challenges are. Right? So that's a 30-minute call. That's easily $1,000. You get that for free. If you're ready to take action and move forward, naturally go to step 2 and just follow through the process, and it'll walk you through the order page. Message me or message Jocelyn Britton or Audrey Nicole or Danny when you get done. Jocelyn, Audrey, or Danny, either one of those can get you the right place, and that way we can get you involved in our group, and that way we can set your time up with me so we can help you to be successful. All right? Now, if you are ready to speed that up even more than that, here's an option for you where you can actually get our nutrition series for free, and you can actually be a part of my next 6-week challenge, which starts in 3 weeks. If you're interested in having that type of conversation, it's by application only. You can go to step 3 above, fill out the application, and my sales team or myself will be on the phone with you. That way we can get you connected and see if it's a good fit for you. There's 3 different options within my 6-week program too. So I'm super enthusiastic. If you're looking for me to solve your problems for 6 weeks, that's the best way to go. Now, let's cruise through here. Dun, dun, dun. So, habit number 2, tracking your food helps you to understand patterns. And this is important, because you'll find common thread so far tonight has been about awareness and being aware of where you're at and being aware of what's going on and being aware of how to tweak and how to adjust it, right? So, number 1, tracking your food helps you to stay accountable. You can easily use MyFitnessPal, which is totally free. Matter of fact, how many of you, who on here is actually using MyFitnessPal currently? Current question on the table. Who is actually using MyFitnessPal currently? I use it, and be honest with you, can I be honest with you? Yes? Awesome. I used to hate it, meaning I would not track my stuff for so long, because I was like, what a pain in the ass. And honestly, once I uploaded my stuff and actually used it, it's super simple. I wish I would have done it sooner, because it really allowed me to be accountable. It allowed me to understand where I'm operating at, what foods I'm having, if I'm getting over the calories. Because here's the thing. Once you nail your calories, if you go over 100 or 200 calories, guess what? You're not losing. You got to get to be super tedious about certain things until you find your magic spot. Once you find your magic spot, then you can figure out what your leniency areas are or where your play levels are at, right? I have it. It has spider webs. Well, it's always today, Meryl. Next thing is a pedometer. So I have a pedometer here. Let's see, I actually have 16,156 steps today, which is a lot. I got up and did 45 minutes of cardio this morning on an empty stomach about 5 o'clock. And then I actually worked out. So here's what I will tell you. If you're looking to create an amazing habit that will help you to be super successful, try this one on for size. If you can get yourself up in the morning, I got my alarm set for 4:50. I feel great when I get up then. So if I get up at that point and I do what I'm supposed to, which means I go do my cardio here at the house, I can tell you that if I do that first thing in the morning, I'm a lot less likely to not take any quick naps. For sure. I'm also a lot more likely, meaning 100% more likely, to be a lot more active. So here's what I did. Today at 10 o'clock, I went to boxing practice. And then today, before I went and got my haircut, I went to work out for 40 minutes. And I also helped Riley wash my car. So I got a lot more activity in because I was already active. Now here's the kicker. Have you ever heard of the saying, a body in motion tends to stay in motion? And a body at rest tends to stay at rest. Have you ever heard that before? Here's what I will tell you from my own experience. If I don't do anything in the morning and I'm struggling to get going, guess what? I'm probably not going to do anything the rest of the day. And if I do something in the morning, I'm 100 times more likely to do 1 or 2 or 3 more things throughout the day. I'm an intermittent working out person, meaning I like to work out for 20 minutes, take a break for an hour or two, then do a little bit more for 5 or 10 minutes, and then take a break for a little bit, and then work out for a little bit more. So you really get to do what works for you. What most people don't understand is that working out is cumulative, which means if I'm doing a whole workout and I break it up 2 or 3 times throughout the day and get it done, it's still work, and you're still working out. What it really boils down to is how well your nutrition is designed for you, your outcomes, and your lifestyle, and how well you can stick with it realistically to be sustainable about creating consistent results. That's it. Law of inertia. So whenever you ask yourself the question, because if you're anything like me and you ask yourself the question, man, how can I speed this up? Here's your response. You're going to say, by doing my cardio and by eating my food and by measuring my body fat every 7 days. This way I can see exactly what's going on. I can see whether I'm on track, whether I'm off track. And this way I can make adjustments. Does that make sense? There are no shortcuts, ladies and gents. If they do, they're not set up for your success long term. And what happens is you're dealing with behavioral challenge. You're dealing with mindset and habit challenges. You go ahead and do something to yourself physically to where you can't eat more food or do whatever they may. There's lots of different things you can do. Here's the deal. If you don't change your behavior and you don't change how you're processing information and you don't change your habits and you don't change you, guess what? You are going to end up right back in the same boat because you're not doing anything but putting a damper on yourself physically and what your body can do without changing yourself internally. Okay? There's a lot of recidivism to programs like that that don't change behaviors. You must change your behavior. You must change yourself in order to be able to do that. The only way for you to be successful is for you to consistently change the way that you think and how you process and the way you feel about certain things. That's it. Because when you do that, you change your habits, you're going to change what you're interested in. You're going to change, well, when you go with the movies, well, why would I rather have some chicken breast versus a pizza? If it's your reward night, have a pizza. But there's times when I would be out of it for a little bit and not wanting to work out, or it's winter time and it's Christmas time. I typically take breaks when I may have pizzas 2 or 3 days in a row. Can I be honest with you? I am totally convinced that God made pizza just for me. Sorry, ladies and gents. And cupcakes and raw cookie dough. All right. So pedometer. A pedometer is a great way for you to have a way to count your steps and for it to give you conscious real-time feedback on how active you are being or not being. And when you understand that, it allows you to make some changes. Right? I knew there was a reason why I like you, Melissa Pennington. All right. Measuring your food. For those of you that are really serious about your results, I would invite you to measure your food out. Meaning if you're supposed to have 4 ounces of sweet potato, measure out 4 ounces of sweet potato. If you're supposed to have 6 ounces of protein, measure out 6 ounces of protein. The only way for you to have amazing results is to do the things necessary that's going to give you those results. Period. And I'll tell you this much. Nothing tastes as good as being lean feels, Brian. Nothing tastes as good as being lean feels. I tell myself that too. Nothing tastes as good as being lean feels. And if you make the adjustments necessary and you put the extra, probably take you realistically, if you do a whole day's worth of food, and let's just say you have anywhere from 4 to 6 meals, and you're like, all right, Brian, I'm going to go ahead and do it your way, and I'm going to measure everything. It's going to take you about 4 minutes extra to do that. And, you know, for a fact, everything you're doing is matched out because you weighed it out that way. So there's no guessing. You feel better when you're eating your stuff because you're like, all right, this is exactly what I need to be successful. Okay? Great tool. My scale was $5. I still use it. I've had it for probably 10 or 15 years now. All right? So one of the things about MyFitnessPal is that you can also share it with your teammates. You may have a challenge. Like, matter of fact, those in my 6-week challenge are using MyFitnessPal. Okay? You can even track your foods while you're rewarding yourself, which also helps out. Because here's what I found. A lot of people think when they have their reward meal there, they're just destroying everything. And what I'm encouraging you to consider is this. Your reward meal actually will help you out if you've been doing what you're supposed to be doing. Meaning measuring your food, doing your cardio, doing your working out, Once you have all that and you're doing that, key is your reward meal will actually be helpful for you physically and psychologically. So it is super important for you to be successful to have a structured reward meal every week. Sometimes when I start doing nutrition programs for people, I may wait every 2 weeks for them for the first week to get their body time to adapt. And that's really important. And I would encourage you to have a reward meal because it's super important for you. Because nothing worse than dieting all the time and thinking, oh man, am I ever going to be able to eat that or that? Yes, you are. And that's why you have a structured one. My encouragement to you is to do it at Friday or Saturday night. Here's the reason why. I paid a significant amount of money one time for a professional that was doing my diet, and he says, all right, Brian, you can have your reward meal. He called it a cheat meal, but I have a reward meal. So I said, okay. He goes, just make sure you have it at night before you go to bed. And I'm like, all right, begrudgingly. What my whole deal was, I was like, dude, I've been craving Krispy Kreme donuts. And I would like a dozen or 2 dozen of them, like today. So, of course, being the law-abiding person that I am and person that I like to listen to my coach's feedback, I went ahead and went to Krispy Kreme the next morning when the sign was still hot and got 2 dozen donuts. I think I took a nap in the parking lot. I ate so many of them I was sweating my ass off. And what happened was after I woke up from my coma nap, I realized why he said doing your reward meal at night was most important. Here's the reason why. When you do your reward meal during the day, unless you have an active Jesus, there's no way in the world you're going to go back to eating healthy food after you've had your taste buds hijacked by donuts or cupcakes or pizza. Unless you are just amazing, which I am not that great at being able to do that, that is a challenge. So, yeah, it looks like my live feed down here on my personal page got frozen up. Interesting. So that's really all I have right now. For those of you that are ready to move forward and ready to take advantage of the special opportunity that we have with our Nutrition Empowerment Series, do it now while it's still on sale. It's only $77. And here's the bonuses that you get. Step 2 is where you go to get involved in our Nutrition Empowerment Series. You're going to get added to our closed Facebook group so you can connect with all the like-minded community where we actually do specific trainings just for you once a week to answer your questions and to provide extra value up and above and beyond what we normally do for our normal people with the feed you're watching right now. Number 2, you're also going to get the audio series as a gift. That's a $97 value for free. Number 3, you're also going to get to have a one-on-one conversation with me and you, discussing little old you and whatever it is you like to put out there and whatever it is I can support and help you with, and we will have that conversation and I will provide whatever comes up for you at that moment in time. So that's a $1,000 value add. That is free. So take advantage of it now while you have the opportunity. Make sure once you do, after you go to step 2, message myself or message Jocelyn Britton or Audrey, and that way they can get you set up with the conversation with me and we can get your bonuses to you. And for those of you that are ready to move forward faster and ready to do a 6-week transformation, you need to go to step 3 and take it from there, and then we will get my guys on the phone with you or myself and we will get you connected to see if it is a good fit. Currently we've got 3 different options for my 6-week challenge. So if you haven't done it and you're really serious about making drastic changes fast, this is where it's going to happen, because this is me solving your problems for you for 6 weeks. So have an amazing day. I'll see you back here tomorrow at the same time, the same back channel. I appreciate you. Let me know what questions you have. I will go back and check out the feeds. So leave me whatever questions, comments you have. I appreciate you. Have an amazing night. And remember, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness. Bye-bye, ladies and gents. And for those of you in my 6-week challenge, I will see you or talk to you in 15, 16 minutes.